The Rangers didn't need much offense tonight. Corey Seager's second home run of the World Series, giving Texas the boost that it would need in a crucial Game 3 victory in this World Series. Welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona. Mike Ducey with Sam Gannon on this special post-game edition of Free for All. The Rangers lead the World Series over the Diamondbacks 2-1 because of an effective, if somewhat unusual, pitching performance and some timely hitting.
Yeah, it was unbelievable, Mike. 2 out, 3 runs in the third for the Rangers, and the bullpen, Mike, today really stole the show. John Gray was just fantastic. Obviously, we're going to get to some injuries, but Max Scherzer coming out, and then Adolis Garcia dealing with an injury too. But the Rangers find a way tonight in a big Game 3.
We talk about the top players coming up big in big situations. Adolis Garcia had that incredible throw from right that prevented a run from scoring. Garcia later would leave the game with side tightness. We'll hope to get an update on that for you. Semien and Seager produced runs. And, Scherzer was good as long as he was in there. He was effective anyway with 3 scoreless innings, but he needed some relief help because of an injury issue of his own. Let's get into some of those highlights here tonight from Chase Field. Rangers and Diamondbacks in Game 3 of a 1-1 World Series. Scherzer had been 9-0 against Arizona all-time entering this game. Bottom of the second, man on for Arizona. Tommy Pham with the base hit. Here comes Walker running right through the stop sign. He's going to try to score. Bad idea. Adolis Garcia gets him. The game is still scoreless. Then a fortunate Ranger ricochet. Alec Thomas off Scherzer's back, and as it turns out, his elbow too, to Young. To Lowe, 1-5-3 if you're scoring at home. Scherzer's okay, at least momentarily, scoreless going to the third. Ranger offense then gets going. Semien, who struggled so much in the postseason, drives in the game's first run. Texas up 1-0 in that third inning. When Semien and Seager have it going, it's bad news for the opposition, and Seager follows with the homer, his 5th of the postseason, 2nd in 3 World Series games, 18th postseason homer all time for Seager. 2-run shot, 3-0 Texas. Scherzer effective at times, gets a strikeout here. As we said, 3 scoreless innings for Max, but he's had the shoulder problems and the thumb issue. As he comes out to warm up for the 4th, he feels tightness in his back, obviously uncomfortable. GM Chris Young knows what's happening, so Scherzer does not return, and 3 scoreless innings would be it for Max. John Gray, then the hero in relief. He was outstanding. 3 scoreless innings, just 2 hits, 3 strikeouts for Gray. Chapman on in the 8th, always an adventure, allows a run, but then gets a nifty double play to get out of trouble. 3-1 after 8, and Leclerc a 1-2-3 ninth, and the Rangers get the win. 3-1, improving to 9-0 on the road in this amazing postseason. It's a 2-1 World Series lead for Texas. As we said, the bullpen hero, Mr. Gray, here he is.
And today was your big spot. How did you deal with it?
Oh man, just staying ready for the days I wasn't, and just waiting on that call. I knew it was going to happen eventually. There's some way to help this team out, and the bullpen's been fun so far. It's been a lot of fun. A lot less thinking, a lot more doing, and it's good to help this club out.
John, how were you able? I was so impressed with the way you kept your composure out of nowhere. You're usually a starter, not coming from the pen, and you're used to routine. How were you able to do that?
Oh man, it's just taking one thing at a time again. Like, it's just like starting. But one pitch at a time. Really focus on execution. You feel all the energy in the building, and you want to really use all of it. But then again, it's going back to doing your job, executing, and let everything else take care of it.
John, when you get caught off into being called out of the bullpen based on a surprise and an injury that Max went through, what is their mentality coming into the game?
Well, today it felt like just really slow down. Things got really fast right there. I knew that coming out of the bullpen, things do get faster. So it was really just slow down, take things one pitch at a time. Take your time out there. Even this pitch clock, you still take your time and use it as your friend. And we'll find a groove.
John Gray to the rescue tonight as Scherzer was forced to leave after 3, and then Gray takes over. Rangers get the win, 3-1, up 2-1 now in the World Series. Manager Bruce Bochy about to address the media. Let's hear what he has to say here in Phoenix.
$50 million on the same day back in 2021, and they've been great for the franchise today. All three of them played a really key role in winning this game for you. What do those three mean to you, and how have they kind of turned things around specifically for the franchise?
Right. Well, I'll start tonight. I think they showed what they mean to us with their outstanding play. I mean, John Gray stepped in when we lost Max there and did a terrific job, didn't he? You know, been dealing, with, some arm stuff, but he's bounced back and he's thrown the ball as well as he was earlier in the season. But those guys, they're the type of guys that can turn a franchise around, and went out and signed them and made this club that much better.
Jeff, on your left, Boch.
Bruce, can you give us injury updates on both Max Scherzer and Adolis Garcia, and whether you expect either of them for the remainder of the series?
Right. Right now, we're going to just evaluate him. Dolly will get some diagnostics done, see where he's at. Left side tightness, we're being optimistic there, but we'll know more tomorrow. Same with Max. Max took a pretty good shot on the elbow. That's what we were concerned about, but it was his low back that tightened up on him. He just couldn't go anymore. And same with him. We'll see where he's at the next 24 hours and decide where we're at with him.
Questions for Bruce? We'll go to on your left, Boch.
Yeah, sure. What was the difference? A couple games ago or a couple days ago, Diamondbacks scored 9 runs. Tonight, just 1 run. What in your strategy was able to turn the guys around or get them to lock in differently? I'm just curious what created.
Well, it wasn't so much in strategy. Yeah, the guys just threw the ball well. Now, those 9 runs, they got away from us late. That was a tight ball game, 2-1, and just got away late in that game. But that's what it comes down to, and defense. I mean, you look at what those guys did tonight. Dolly, I mean, what a throw he made at home. Of course, Corey, getting that big double play. Josh Young, the ball that deflected off of Max. It's just a great game defensively, and shows you what defense can do. It can win a ball game for you, and it helped us win tonight.
6 rows back on your right, Boch.
You just spoke on the throw by Garcia. Can you just expand on the weapon that has been for you guys defensively, and just how reliable he's been in situations like that when guys try to run on him in that situation?
Yeah, he's just a complete player. He's speed, arm, he can hit. I mean, the guy can do it all, and we saw it. And he's accurate too, and he loves to throw. He loves to be challenged, and we've seen that quite a few times. So he really enjoys that part of the game, and he works at it.
4th row on your left, Jeff.
Bruce, I think coming into the series, John Gray had thrown 1 inning in the ALCS. Going from that to not just high leverage situations, but really important ones, what have you seen from him, and how much better has the stuff been than it was a week or 2 ago?
Right, I agree. He's really thriving on this role. He's got a lot of confidence going. And, I'll start with he's healthy right now. I think he's excited about that. He was dealing, with the arm, but now back to who he is. He knows he's getting the ball where he wants, his velocity, his slider. So he's back to being the guy that we had earlier in the season. And for the most part this season, as always, can be a difficult transition going to the bullpen, but he's handled it so well, and his stamina and strength has built up on him. We only had him for an inning there, but each time out he's just getting stronger, so we're able to use him multiple innings. Went 3 tonight, and he probably could have gone more, to be honest.
And we'll finish up with Kyle on your right, Boch.
Bruce, given how tonight's game played out, who's going to be your starting pitcher tomorrow?
I'm going to need about an hour here, to be honest. We're going to huddle up and decide how we're going to do it. I think both teams are kind of in a similar situation, how we work this. We were able to stay away from a lot of guys because of John Gray's effort, and had our leverage guys out there. So we're going to talk about the game plan and what we're going to do tomorrow. So I'll come up with that shortly.
Boch, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much.
Okay, thanks.
Rangers manager Bruce Bochy, and that's the big question. Who's going to pitch tomorrow for Texas? We thought it would be John Gray starting the game, kind of a bullpen game for the Rangers as they've done, after the big three throw. But I guess it would have to be some sort of combination of Dunning and Heaney, perhaps, off the top. And as he said, there are other relievers who didn't have to get extensive work tonight who could try to cobble some sort of game together on the mound for the Rangers tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's really amazing what John Gray was able to do tonight, Mike, in relief. Besides tonight, he only had one other experience before this in the bullpen. Again, 3 innings pitched, scoreless innings, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. In this World Series, he also pitched game 1 as well. 4 2/3 innings pitched, gave up 0 runs, 2 hits, 7 strikeouts. And this is a neat little fact, too. Gray hadn't actually thrown more than 3 innings or more than 30 pitches since September 25th. And Bochy talked about it there, how he's thriving right now. A big part of that, too, is because he's also healthy. He was dealing with that forearm strain as well. But he stepped up tonight in a huge way when his team needed him most, especially dealing with that Max Scherzer injury.
Gray's an impressive guy. We've both been around him a time or two in the clubhouse. He's a very thoughtful guy, introspective guy, and it's not been an easy year for him.
No.
In a lot of ways, up and down, needless to say. To see him with this kind of opportunity in the World Series and to see him perform like this has to be really satisfying for those close to John Gray. The rest of the Ranger bullpen, did what it had to do to get this thing home for Texas. Spores was out there and, I guess had some sort of physical problem briefly. They came out and took a look at him. Chapman, as I said during
fans were on edge a little bit there.
Always an adventure. Really nifty double play got him out of trouble, or helped to anyway. And then, Leclerc got the benefit of one call, but I think there was another pitch that could have been called a strike that was not. And Leclerc was able to close the thing out. This bullpen, which had been such a problem for the Rangers all year long, bottom line, figures out a way to pick up Max Scherzer and win Game 3 of the World Series.
And when you talk about Max Scherzer, Mike, you just feel for a guy like that so much, especially because he had that 5-week absence with the shoulder strain. There's a point in the broadcast where they showed a replay of him just shaking his head in frustration because he knew he couldn't come back in there. Initially, as you heard Bruce Bochy say, he thought it was the elbow that was the problem, but it ended up being that back tightness. And now you just wonder if we're going to see him again in this series. They say they're going to evaluate him, see where he's at tomorrow as far as Adolis Garcia. Again, left side tightness. Boch said they're optimistic there, but again, he'll go through the process tomorrow.
The Rangers offense, actually Texas was out hit tonight. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Texas, 1 run, 6 hits for Arizona. But as we have discussed repeatedly, if the top 2 guys in this order can get something going offensively, it makes all the difference in the world. Semien got a badly needed run driven in. He's just had such a rough postseason offensively. And then Seager, is one of the turning into one of the great all-time World Series performers, certainly postseason performers.
And you wonder with Marcus Semien, too, with that RBI single tonight, that was his first in the last 9 games, by the way. You wonder if that can be a turning point for him in this series because, again, as we've said, when you have production from the top of the order like that, big things happen. Corey Seager, he had a big 9th inning in Game 1 with that 2-run blast to tie it up, and he has a 2-run home run tonight in that 2-out, 3 runs scored for the Rangers in that 3rd inning.
Again, a 2-1 lead now for the Rangers in the World Series. Game 4 is tomorrow night here in Phoenix. Game 5, boy, the days are getting confusing.
They're all kind
is
of
the day after
mush.
that, whichever one.
Whatever day it is.
That is. If Arizona can figure out a way to win one of the next 2, then there is a Game 6 back in Arlington. Conceivably, the Texas Rangers are in a position where they could win the World Series here in Phoenix. Long way to go. 2-1. Rangers win tonight, 3-1. We're going to come back. More post-game reaction. Jeff Kolb joins us from inside the ballpark. Stay with us as our Rangers post-game continues.
John Gray, the former Oklahoma Sooners. I know we have Sooners viewers watching this, Mike, stepping up in a big way for the Texas Rangers. 3 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts, and a hit as the Rangers now take a 2-1 series lead in this World Series. And I said it before the game, Mike, I really thought this was a bigger game for the Rangers than it was for the Diamondbacks. Of course, they're all big, but now the fact of the matter is they do have a possibility to close this thing out here. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but they do have the momentum now heading into Game 4 tomorrow.
You know, pitching always has to lead the way when we talk about baseball. But it's funny in this series because the Rangers failed to get quality starts from their top 2 postseason pitchers in Eovaldi and Montgomery. And tonight, you know, Max Scherzer, the guy who they'd hoped would be their ace but has been hindered by injury, can only give them 3 innings, albeit 3 scoreless innings. But then the bullpen, which has been such a problem for this team all year long, comes through. You know, it's the second straight outing where I went into a game, a second straight Max Scherzer outing, where I went into the game saying, hey, Scherzer has to go fairly deep into this thing or the Rangers are going to really be in trouble. Game 7 against Houston and Game 3 here tonight. Scherzer didn't go anything resembling deep in either of them, although he's much better tonight than he was Game 7 in Houston. But the Rangers still figure out a way to do it. In Game 7, it was with a bunch of offense. Here in Game 3, it was with some timely offense, but an outstanding performance from that bullpen.
And we've seen it with the Rangers, too, that they also live for the big moments, especially for the offense. I was thinking tonight they're going to have to probably have one of those, you know, Marcus Semien delivering. I don't think that can be stated enough how huge that RBI single was, because coming up right after him, you have Seager, who we've seen lives for these moments, especially in the World Series. So, again, it was nice to see the Rangers bats go hot in that 3rd inning, but that's really all they needed because, again, the bullpen doing what needed to be done. And you know what they say, by any means necessary.
And now we wait to see what Boch decides. Said he needed about an hour to think about it.
Let him take this win in, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Have a couple snacks.
Yeah, we were talking during the game, you know, would there be any chance that he'd bring Eovaldi back on short rest, 3 days rest? And I think that would have been more likely if the Rangers had lost tonight and their backs were a little more against the wall. It's hard to imagine that happening tomorrow now. So I get a bit of intrigue heading into Game 4 tomorrow night as the Rangers grab a 2-1 series lead in the World Series. You know, you talk about Seager, and people have been reminded in this postseason, people around the country, about the fact that he's a maybe top 5, maybe certainly top 10 player in Major League Baseball. But, you know, I have family and friends from around the country who, you know, texting me, you know, in the game like this tonight, and they're like, man, what's Seager about? I said, well, he's about a guy who's been really good all year.
He's about his business.
And in many postseasons, but such a low-key guy, so, not a self-promoter in any way, shape, or form. But, man, another, as you said, iconic postseason moment from Seager in a Ranger uniform tonight.
And I think the guys in that clubhouse, his teammates, really respect that about him. 2 home runs in this World Series. I believe you said his 18th career postseason home run again. And, you know, that's what's going to happen in this World Series, Mike. It's a time where heroes are made and your best players step up when their team needs it most. So that's what happened tonight.
All right, I believe we're ready for Jeff Kolb on the field with more Ranger post-game reaction. Jeff, what do you have for us?
Well, what a mixture of emotions, right? I mean, this team is now 2 wins from its first ever World Series title, but the injury concerns, not only for Max Scherzer, which I know Bochy was just talking about, but Adolis Garcia on that swing. Guys, I'll tell you, we were waiting to go in the clubhouse, and right after the game ended, Adolis walked right past us in street clothes. So in my mind, that is not a good sign. Obviously, you know, it'd be tough to lose Adolis Garcia with how he's been the heart and soul of this whole postseason run. As far as Scherzer, I think I heard in there that Bochy said he's hopeful about Max as well. I got to talk with Max. We got to talk with him in the clubhouse. He said that this was a back spasm. It was not the elbow. It was not something that was a result at all of that comebacker in the 2nd inning. He said the ball hit him right on the bone, and basically, if it hits you there, either it's broken or you're totally good. And he says he's good as far as the elbow is concerned. But it's a back spasm. He's had these before. And really, we won't know. He won't know until 48 hours out from now if he will have a chance to pitch again in this postseason. You have to feel for Max Scherzer with all the injuries he's dealt with since he came over in the trade from the Mets. It was the forearm, it was the shoulder. This week it was the arts and crafts project on the thumb with the blister, and now it's this.
I just had my back tighten up, and then it went into full spasm. You know, in the third inning, we were trying everything to kind of stretch out, try to get going. And then went out there to warm up in the fourth, and I tried, and I was going to hurt it even more, and I wasn't going to be myself. And so at that point, you know, that's when I came out of the game. When I got hit on the comebacker, I got hit in the back of the elbow, and I got hit on really the bone. So you either break it or you're good, and I was good. So I went back out in the third and through, and my arm was fine. So it didn't hit any muscle, so it wasn't going to tighten up. So that the comebacker wasn't going to affect anything. You know, I was making through that, and then in that third inning, my back tightened up and was able to get through the third. And then, like I said, I had nothing.
So I'm confident in the guys that we had behind him, and you know, you guys saw it. John Gray came out there and threw great tonight, so I'm really happy for him. The bullpen did what they've been doing. They did a great job finishing off a really potent offensive team, and yeah, we came away with a great W.
Marcus has been the table setter for you guys all year. What was it like to see him come through like that?
Oh, it was great. You know, he's due, so I'm not surprised at all. There are a lot of guys in this lineup that are due, so for him to knock me in there and, you know, obviously keep himself on the bag so he can touch home when Corey hits one out is great.
We know you're a gamer. How did that RBI feel?
Yeah, I mean, every RBI feels good. I think when you're in the World Series and tie ball game with the, you know, us having a tough game last time, you know, it was good to get us going. And obviously what Corey did right after that was, you know, the big blow. But in terms of us coming back, we've always been resilient. For me, find the gap and get an RBI is huge.
Knowing what this win sets up, you guys can't be eliminated here. You can end it here. What does that do for your mentality?
Yeah, I mean, we're not thinking about being eliminated. Nobody in this room wants to think about, you know, that word. We just want to continue to do what we need to do to be ready to win. Be ready to play hard, play good, clean baseball, because we know our offense is capable of putting up a lot of runs. So we need to do the other things well.
So, as Marcus Simeon's saying there, they're not thinking about, you know, being knocked out. They're thinking about wrapping up this World Series right here on this field in Arizona. But the pitching is obviously just murky as we look forward now. We don't know, as you guys are saying, who will start tomorrow. And, you know, just going back to Scherzer, how frustrating given how he was pitching. I mean, we knew that he probably wasn't about to throw 100 pitches, but he was being efficient. He wasn't trying to strike guys out. 35 pitches through 3 innings, and you just hate that it ended like that for Max.
Yeah, Jeff, you're right, and it's encouraging, I guess, from a Ranger standpoint that he says it's back spasms and it's not some sort of, you know, mystifying ailment that he's not sure what it is, and they're going to, you know, do an MRI tomorrow and all that stuff. He seemed pretty clear that it was just plain and simple a back spasm that disabled him just momentarily there. But you're right in that he worked his way around some stuff and had kind of an encouraging outing for the 3 innings he was in there.
Well, and in addition, as great as John Gray was, he was probably your starter tomorrow, right? So obviously he comes up huge. You get the win here tonight. You take care of the business, and that's what's most important. But, you know, Scherzer, it looked like maybe he was turning a corner, and now, who knows? I mean, he's 39 years old. He just made his 4th World Series start. We know how much it meant to him to try and get here to the Rangers and compete for a title. And he's just had tough luck, not only this year, but in the postseason since he won it all with the Nationals. This was his 9th straight playoff start without getting a winning decision.
Yeah, that's a good point. He has, you know, struggled even before his time with the Rangers in terms of his postseason work. And if he is hurt to the point where he can't return, the Rangers would be able to activate another pitcher. But yeah, for tomorrow, Jeff, and we were talking about this during the game. I mean, where do you turn now in that you use the guy that, as you said, you would most likely be using tomorrow, some sort of Dunning-Heaney combo through the early innings anyway from Bochy, do you think?
I definitely think so. And the interesting thing, I was actually just a few minutes ago looking at the numbers on both of them. and they're very similar. They've both thrown 6 innings in the postseason so far. They both have 6 ERAs, 6.00 earned run averages, which is obviously not good. The one reason I would go with Dunning is because the Diamondbacks have not seen Dane Dunning before, like we saw with Heaney. You know, at least Dunning didn't start against them in the regular season. I think Dunning, you know, we saw what he was able to do all year long, really an unsung hero for this pitching rotation. So I would start Dane Dunning, especially after what we saw in the Houston series when Heaney didn't get out of that first inning.
All right, Jeff Kolb all over it for us on the field here at Chase, covering the Rangers clubhouse. Texas goes up 2-1 with a 3-1 win here tonight in Game 3. Jeff, thanks very much.
All right, stay with us. Much more to come on this special edition of Free for All. We've got more post-game coverage for you. After the break, we head to the watch party at Globe Life Field with reactions from what I think are going to be a lot of happy Rangers fans about tonight's 3-1 victory over the Diamondbacks. Stay with us. Welcome back to the show. A live look at Chase Field. Mike Ducey, Sam Gannon with you here outside the ballpark on the plaza. Mike, a bit of a subdued crowd. You can imagine if the Diamondbacks had won, this place would have been jumping. But the Texas Rangers bounced back after they lost Game 2 9-1. And now, Mike, the Rangers, they're actually 9-0 in this postseason when they score first. And they've now won 9 straight on the road in these playoffs, which is incredible.
Yeah, 9 road playoff wins, first time that's ever happened. Yeah, somebody's playing "Don't Stop Believing" on an accordion.
That's for the Diamondbacks fans,
yeah,
right?
Diamondback fans are trying to Remember that. Corey Seager, man, he's a guy that Ranger fans have to believe in because of what he's done all year, but especially in the postseason. Seager tonight hits his 5th World Series home run all time, and he's on an illustrious list of players who have through 16 games. That's 5 homers in his first 16 World Series games. Other players who've done that: Lou Gehrig, Duke Snider, Mickey Mantle. Corey Seager on that list.
It's a decent list to be on.
Select company. Here's the Rangers shortstop after the game.
Corey, just looking at the 2 home runs you've hit so far in terms of how the atmosphere was, obviously a far different one tonight compared to the one that you hit. Just what are those moments like for you, whether it's in that game or this one, where you're changing sort of the environment around you with the play that you made?
Yeah, you know, Marcus put a good AB together right before me and drove in a run, and we're just trying to build off that. You know, this lineup's trying to build off each other constantly, so props to him on the great AB, and unfortunately I got a good pitch to hit.
Other questions for Corey? On your left.
Hey, Corey, congrats. Apologies if you've answered this already, but 9-0 on the road this postseason, major league record. What's your reaction to that, and what has made you guys so good away from home this postseason?
Yeah, we're just showing to play every day. You know, we're trying to win that day. No matter where you are, we're trying to play good baseball every day. So, I don't know how to credit to anything other than that, really.
Corey, 2 years ago, you, Marcus, and John all signed on the same day, some pretty big contracts to kind of turn around this franchise. Just what does this mean to you, all 3 of you guys, you know, coming up big and delivering in the World Series on the biggest stage of all together, given that?
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, this is what we envisioned. This is where we wanted to be. We've talked about it before, but what John was able to do for us and give us a bunch of those big innings in the middle of the game and really kind of shut their lineup down was awesome for us tonight.
Corey Seager with his 2nd home run of this World Series, helping to key a Rangers win 3-1. They're up 2-1 now in the Fall Classic.
I love listening to Corey Seager there because, again, we've heard plenty about how he's the guy who doesn't like to talk about himself at all. And his very first answer, he talks about Marcus Semien hitting that RBI signal again. He's a guy who quietly goes about his business, again, coming up in a big way tonight.
And those 2 came up in a big way on a double play.
Yeah. That was fun.
As well, defensively. Again, the Rangers continue this incredible run with games played away from the Globe Life Field in this postseason. 9th straight postseason win on the road, but there's some fun going on back home too. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager on hand to cover that. Peyton?
Hi, Mike and Sam. I'm holding it down here at home at Globe Life Field while you guys are away in Arizona. And I got to hang out with a bunch of Rangers fans this evening. And they love to cheer on their boys here at home in Arlington, but they are pretty pleased with the way they are playing on the road. They cannot complain, but we wanted to talk to them this evening about those key plays during the game. Massive night on the mound. You know, Garcia throwing to home plate to get the runner out. Young on third base with the defensive plays. So here are what the Rangers have to say.
It was a pitching duel throughout the whole time, which is expected in baseball. I think we can get it done. Rangers in 5. Oh, it was a great game.
What do you think was a key player in that game? Who stuck out for you?
Definitely Adolis Garcia. He was that ball hit into right field. That was a huge play. Got the momentum going. You know, baseball's a very momentum game, so for him to throw the runner out at home was huge, and it got the momentum going. And that was it.
It's about the defense. It really is. I mean, it's a team game. Everyone did their job.
Talk about the Rangers on the road. That really has been the story of this entire postseason.
8-0 right now. It's been remarkable.
And I'm extremely impressed with the appearance from these Rangers fans this evening at Globe Life. It's Monday night. It's cold out here in North Texas. But, I mean, the Rangers are in the World Series, so I didn't expect anything less. We have a watch party also tomorrow night, Tuesday night. It's Halloween, and I've heard from other Rangers fans that they're going to bring their friends, and more people will be here tomorrow with just 2 wins away. Mike and Sam, back to you.
Peyton Yeager at Globe Life Field in Arlington. Thanks very much. Yeah, I forgot about it. Halloween tomorrow night.
Spooky season. Too bad we don't have our costumes. If we were at home, we would have dressed up for you guys, but you guys won't get to see that tomorrow night.
We could disguise ourselves as journalists. That's a little broadcast joke for you there.
Well, Mike, we've been so busy keyed in on the Rangers again. Schedule for tomorrow.
There we go. World Series Game 4. It's tomorrow night. First pitch is shortly after 7. But we'll be on the air long before that.
And long after that.
Yeah, exactly. Our coverage starts with Fox 4 News at 4. Tune in for that tomorrow.
All right, we've been keyed in on the Rangers, of course, but tonight, a very busy night in sports for the DFW professional teams, Dallas teams. FC Dallas, the Mavs, and the Stars all playing tonight.
Yeah, if the Cowboys had a Monday night game, you know, would have
been
the
a
Big
rare
Five
occurrence.
All going. We'll start with the other playoff team. That would be FC Dallas, Major League Soccer playoffs. FC Dallas and Seattle. Best of 3 playoff format. Second half. Jordan Morris with the header from the center of the box puts Seattle up 2-0. That would be the final. Dallas faces a winner-go-home game Saturday, and that'll be at home.
All right, the Dallas Mavericks came out firing tonight in Memphis. The Mavs hitting 15 three-pointers in the first half, tying a franchise record. Luka Doncic picked up his second triple-double of the season, 35 points, 12 boards, 12 assists. Mavs, though, beat the Grizzlies 125-110 to improve to 3-0 on the season. They're back at the AAC Wednesday to play Chicago. And back in Dallas at the AAC, the Stars beating the Blue Jackets 5-3. Rope Hintz recording his 250th point tonight in his 318th career game, the fastest mark to the mark in Dallas Stars history. The Stars get their 5th win and play in Calgary on Thursday night. We will be right back. Much more after this. Stay with us.
We'll be right back.